Now here, unfortunately, this is not how you engage with a snatch. Imagine it's always light weights, and light weights will always allow your body to make a lot of mistakes. Grüezi miteinander, Gregory from Lebe here. If this is your first time on our channel, we're about all things kettlebell. We have been certified by accredited kettlebell institutions, and we work with people in real life to help them discover the potential of kettlebell training. In these reviews, I'm always operating from a place of love. It's not my goal to bash Freeletics or give them a bad rep. I'm just very passionate about kettlebells, and one of our clients recently shared with me that Freeletics is now implementing kettlebell training in their app. If you're not familiar with Freeletics, they're offering you an app that serves you workouts and even some coaching. So the first exercise is the clean and jerk. Let's see how they do it. Okay, backswing, clean. The clean and jerk, guys, is a very technically advanced exercise. I would not use this exercise for beginners or for folks who just bought a kettlebell. What I like is that he chooses the triangle positions, the kettlebells in front of him. So he goes into the backswing so he doesn't waste his first rep. Especially when you have heavier weights, you need to engage in this triangle position. Then hip extension, and he already jumps. Now there's no need for you to jump when you clean the weights. You just use a regular backswing, then you go into the hip extension, so hip is fully extended. You have the acceleration pull where you pull the kettlebell up, hand insertion where you jump from the finger grip into your hook grip, and then you rack rest the kettlebell. The way he grabs the kettlebell is firm, that's totally fine. What I just love to engage in is a hand insertion where I really go deep into the kettlebell handle so that the kettlebell rests on my arm. Because the elbow is not connected to his hip, he cannot transfer the energy from his legs into his arm. So he does a mini squat. This is what we normally call a dip and a bump. If you do a dip and a bump, you don't push your hips back, your hips stay forward. So then he jumps off the floor and he presses the kettlebell. Now, if it is heavier weight, your arms will burn, and you will not use the power of your legs to catapult the kettlebell into the top fixation. And this is the bump where you get on your toes, but you don't jump off the floor. You have to keep your toes on the ground. And then he's in the top fixation and he goes into the second dip, and then he stands up. Now the way he does it is pretty clumsy because he is not used to this exercise. So then in the top fixation, the arm is pointing back. So if your arm is pointing back, you will burn your forearm. We always say that you want to really make sure that your thumbs is pointing backwards so that you really externally rotate your shoulder and you're safe. So the way he drops the kettlebell is he muscles the kettlebell down. You can do this. What we like to do is just drop the elbow into the rack rest position. There's no connection to the hip, so then he drops the weight, which is not even as bad. The drop is fine, but he engages in a mini squat again. He doesn't engage in a hinge. When you go into the clean, you want to engage with a hinge unless you are choosing very heavy weights. But even in that case, then maybe you bend your knees a little bit and don't go into a half squat or a mini squat like he does it. Second exercise is the figure eights. People are bending their spine, not only the T-spine, the thoracic part, which would be okay from a certain standpoint if you're very advanced in your lifting technique, but she's also rounding the lower back. And if you're rounding the lower back, when we take a look at what Dr. Stuart McGill is saying, one of the leading spine biomechanists, then you really have to understand that rounding the lower back under load is always a dangerous position that you may put your body in. Now here comes one of the most powerful exercises that you can do with the kettlebell. It is the get up. I like the way how he starts. He starts with the proper embryo position, elbow, hands, hips, then leg sweep, and then he stands up, and he even does the windshield wiper move. He stands up. Maybe we could say that you should make sure that the kettlebell is in your center of mass. Keep it close to your head. That's what we hear a lot, is always take a look at the bell. I think if you're on top, you can look straight forward, and as soon as you go down, because some people sometimes lose balance if they always look up, I believe you have to fix your eyes on the bell as soon as you engage in the kneeling windmill and you go down in the half kneeling open position, where it's crucial that you know where the kettlebell is. So then he goes back and he does the same mistake that I was doing for many years. So he goes down in the reverse lunge. That's nice. And now he immediately reaches for the floor. This again may put your lower back into a difficult position. Now, why am I so keen on the lower back and the mechanics, the biomechanics, and the problematic and all these troubles that may happen if you don't engage in proper technique? Because you may hurt yourself over time. These are micro traumas that may happen over time and time again, and this may lead to problems down the road. And when you engage with kettlebell training and when you engage with weights in general, there is always an injury risk, but you always want to make sure that the injury risk is as low, as reduced as humanly possible. Other than that, it's all good. He goes to the heel, down to the hips, and then he goes down and he moves very slowly. I really like this, down to the elbow, and then with a lot of tension of your abs, you're going down. Good stuff. And the bell goes down. I really like it. It's again a highly advanced skilled exercise that you can engage in, but I would really take some proper coaching from a person, from an expert who can really teach you the ins and outs of this exercise. Now here we go. This exercise, they call it the kettlebell sumo pulls. I don't like this. If you pull the bell up ballistically in that position, you may cause impingement in your shoulder. Now, maybe somebody is now in the comment section like, why are you always so critical? It's not my idea to bash these guys. It's my idea to help you make an informed decision at the end of the day. What you rather want to engage in, if you really want to bring the bell up, is a snatch, because a snatch is a perfect position for your shoulder to work. And if you pull your elbows up like this and you grab the kettlebell here, it's just like the American swing. There may be shoulder impingement. Now here comes the snatch, and the snatch, I just mentioned it, would be the best exercise. You could throw away this kettlebell sumo pull and just engage with the snatch only. Now here, unfortunately, this is not how you engage with a snatch. Imagine it's always light weights, and light weights will always allow your body to make a lot of mistakes. Now I like that she starts with the triangle, pulling the bell back. But as you can see, the arm is not connecting to the body. And yes, your body may twist a little, but you always have to make sure that you don't twist too much. So she pulls the bell up with the power and the muscle of her arms only. We call it, this is a muscle snatch, not using your hips. As soon as she drops the weight, she engages in a full squat, or almost a half squat. There's no connection happening to the body, so the brunt of the weight will be taken by your arms. So you want to make sure that once the bell drops, you want to wait. You want to wait for the proper timing for your arm to reconnect to your body. Then you engage in a hinge, or maybe in a hinge with bent knees, and then you bring the kettlebell back up. But in that case, as you can see, the arm never connects, so the hip doesn't do a lot of work. And that's something, again, the snatch is a technical exercise. And you have to imagine ballistics are always very technical. So if you're just starting out with kettlebells, maybe avoid the ballistics altogether. Engage in the grinds, maybe a deadlift, a squat, and a press, and you're better off than engaging in ballistic exercises that are shown to you like this. Yeah. And the final exercise, the swing, the most popular exercise of them all. Now here, as you can see, she is engaging in a hinge. She waits till the arm connects to her body. And the snatch is just a swing into the top fixation. So if you compare these two now, this is what it's supposed to look like if you engage in the snatch as well. So maybe she can improve her timing a little bit, but at least she is waiting for her arms to connect. Then she goes down into a proper hinge. And then when she's on top, she's extending hips and knees. And, you know, maybe hyperextending a little bit, but, you know, it's always a question. Maybe I always say that your upper back may round a little bit. If you keep your quads locked, your abdominals engaged, your glutes engaged, then your spine is safe because shear forces are happening. So we have to make sure that we engineer out the shear forces once the kettlebell boom is on top. Maybe the height is a little bit high. You can say, okay, I'm aiming for chest level. Other than that, this is probably the best form that they're executing on the swing. It's the best demonstration of a ballistic exercise that I've seen now from Freeletics. There are some minor things that we could correct, but I think this works well. So here goes my verdict. I'm a little bit disappointed in Freeletics because they didn't choose to opt in for proper expertise. Our client who showed me these exercises and loves Freeletics says, the coaches look clumsy. It looks like they don't do it often. The programming is okay, but it could also be improved, especially when you know that you work with a lot of beginners, or at least you really have to always mention when you incorporate ballistic exercises that these are advanced. Now, I know German experts, for example, they could have talked to Bernd von Schilling, a very awesome kettlebell sport coach. They could have talked to the Strong First or RKC guys in Germany. They could have even talked to us. We are also open to help. And that's what I'm disappointed in. You have this big business, this very successful app that is not engaging with the expertise of professionals to branch out into different areas. I'm not saying that Freeletics is not supposed to branch out into kettlebell exercises or maybe even some advanced calisthenics or even barbells and dumbbells. But what I would love to see is that these apps or that these creators understand that this is a different territory. Then the solution would be, let's talk to these experts, have them come to our place, show them how it's done, film them, and then have a collaboration, because we always do better if we branch out and talk to the guys and gals who are already mastered these areas that we want to branch out to and that we want to incorporate into our business or workouts or whatever have you. Following these different schools of thought, hardstyle, kettlebell sport, or hybrids is a must in my opinion. And if you're not aware of these school of thoughts in these areas, then like I mentioned before, you want to talk to the experts who can help you build an awesome program that withstands peer review and that will give your clients the most bang for their buck. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like it, consider subscribing if you want to see more kettlebell content. And if you're looking for a kettlebell program that builds you up from a beginner to a slowly advanced trainee in the course of about 3 months, and you maybe want to combine it with some easy to follow nutrition coaching because maybe you want to lose weight or you want to get in shape, then check out 90 Days of Kettlebells. You'll find the link in the description. 14-day free trial included.